Thank you, Mr. Waltz. Mr. Huelskamp, you're recognized. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the witnesses coming and visiting with us tonight and sharing your story. And I'm particularly troubled by the last comment, the suggestion, recommendation that folks look for employment elsewhere until these problems are fixed. Dr. Mitchell, one thing I would ask for each of you, each named superiors or other senior staff who ignored your pleas, violated your confidentiality, knowingly injured veterans or placed them at risk. Do you know if any of these have been punished or censored by the VA? I'll start with you.
No, I do not know. And, with the whistleblower retaliation and cooking up numbers, it's basically sending all the wrong messages. That doesn't matter. Care is optional. We'll protect you. We'll come up with the numbers. It's so corrosive. And, going back to the point of Mr. Waltz, I started the Washington University residents rotating through the VA, and I had one resident who was very good who wanted to join who did not, and I had two other people I knew in the community who were excellent psychiatrists trained at very good places, and they came and interviewed, but they couldn't, they didn't want to work in these situations where they were wanting to join because I wanted to build a good mental health clinic there. And then it was inconceivable that they just removed me from that position. So this is a very corrosive. It's very demoralizing to a lot of the ethical people who work there as well, because they see either they have to leave or they have to just keep quiet and suffocate internally. I think that there are no other choices there.
So there's no doubt in your mind other employees see the mistreatment, the violations, and see your treatment and choose to remain silent and face that.
I absolutely know that for a fact, that's the case.
What would you recommend? And all members of the committee have probably heard from constituents since this scandal really broke open, and the committee's been looking at this for a number of years. But what would you recommend to whistleblowers that have knowledge, have this concern, that share your doubts about how they'll be treated? What should they do? Who should they turn? I've had 3 to 4 whistleblowers. I showed up unannounced for a surprise visit to a facility. Somehow was able to get in and started to uncover things. But what do I tell whistleblowers when they say, Congressman, this is what we've seen happen, but we're not going to tell you our name because we're afraid we're going to lose our job? What should I tell them?
Well, at this point, you could give them my name, and I'll report it. Since I've already got a target on my back, it doesn't matter. Actually, that's what's happening. I've had multiple phone calls from physicians from VAs across the country. There's a VA facility that's bed sore free, not because they don't have bed sores, but because the physicians and the nurses were forbidden to document bed sores. And that there are many, many, many issues. I've certainly contacted Jeff Miller's, or Representative Miller's office, and gotten a phone number of someone who said that they would maintain the confidentiality and investigate. And at this point, I would tell whistleblowers to go to the congressman or see Mr. Miller, and that's a problem above my pay grade. So
yeah, and that's what's happened in our office. Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I would say I've had several whistleblowers come to me directly, and I've shared their testimony with the committee, and I've actually read some of their statements into the record. And I, too, would say those that I know are familiar with the administrative process side of the House, I'll be more than happy to take their whistleblower complaint to the public. I think that's our ability to do what we can. My background is communication, so I was able to navigate through the press process a little bit quicker than most whistleblowers. And I think that's the key thing. It doesn't take everyone to do the same thing. Some people may be comfortable at just going to the IG. Some may be comfortable going to their representative or senator. Some may be comfortable going to the press. But there's different levels of whistleblowing. You don't have to go as far as we did. I think we're something a little bit, in some cases, the exception. But I think there are different ways you can get the information out. And there are different people who want to report it. There's interest groups, there's civil groups, there are veteran service organizations who will be more than happy to get the information. They have direct connection with many of the leaders in Congress. There are different ways you can get the information out. But I will tell you this, you feel much better when you say something versus holding it in.
And I have no doubt there are VA employees that are as concerned as you are listening tonight, are seeing the comments, and I might add there's folks out there probably tearing all 4 of you down for having the courage and bravery to show up. But recognize if you're listening, step forward, and my office, other office, will be there to carry that water for brave employees like yourself. So I appreciate your commitment, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me, I want to make a clarification. I said I would not recommend getting a job at the VA. I actually am not looking for a job elsewhere. The VA is really important work. I would tell those people they'll be working with great people, but they have to have a true understanding of the administrative culture and where it stands today, and then make the decision.
Yeah, Dr. Mitchell, there is no doubt in my mind your commitment to our veterans. So thank you, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.